So the Sixers still cannot win a game without Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is the only star on this team. Everybody else is a role player, and two of them are being paid max contracts, and it's just sad. It's depressing. I don't know what else to say. It's absolutely ridiculous. Something has to happen here. This episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by the Teespring store. Click the link in the description. Get all the Run It Back merch, including this Maxie's Taxi t-shirt. Tyrese Maxey driving a taxi with buckets in the back seat because he delivers buckets. And he's a promising young rookie, and that's very exciting. I was going to rock this t-shirt to advertise it and that, but you know what? After this game, dude, I have to wear appropriate attire. I really do. All right, so check it out. I got 60 dislikes on my last video, 60 frauds, yes, because I said the Sixers are going to trade Ben Simmons and Shake Milton, and I don't know why you guys are mad at somebody making a prediction, but I didn't say I want to trade Shake Milton. That's not what I said. I love Shake Milton. He's a great three-level scorer, absolute steal out of the second round of an NBA draft, but this team is not good enough to win a championship. That is just facts. You have to live with it. Joel Embiid has probably 4 more full seasons of peak MVP level performing, and you have to put a team around him that can get a ring. That's all there is to it. Allen Iverson had the years where he was at his peak, and the Sixers did not put a team around him because the drafting was bad. The players didn't live up to their potential. Keith Van Horn was a number 2 overall pick. Larry Hughes was a high. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joel Embiid has Ben Simmons. Same scenario here. Not living up to his draft potential. It is what it is. Something has to happen here. Okay? I got people, internet professionals, telling me that they wouldn't trade Shake Milton for Bradley Beal. The homers in this city, in this sports town, are unbelievable. That is a total fallacy. Any GM in the entire league would trade Shake Milton for Bradley Beal. It's just a fact. And at this point, I would trade Ben Simmons and Shake Milton for Bradley Beal, and I'd throw in some picks. You got to understand, Bradley Beal is going to get a huge return for the Washington Wizards if and when they decide to let it go. Bradley Beal is putting up James Harden MVP numbers, and he's 4 years younger. You're not getting Bradley Beal for Matisse Thybulle, Furkan Korkmaz, and a couple second-round picks. I don't understand how Philly fans underrate other players so much and overrate the hell out of their own players. It doesn't make any sense. I know you guys watch the NBA. Watch a couple of Bradley Beal games once in a while. Or people think you can get Zach LaVine for a couple of second-round picks and keep Ben Simmons and keep Shake Milton. It's not possible. So this game, I tweeted before the game, and I said Joel Embiid, or I had an Instagram post or something, and I said Joel Embiid is out tonight. Is the 76ers transcendent superstar Ben Simmons going to lead us to victory? And obviously that was a joke. And exactly as I knew what was going to happen, that happened. And people keep saying, I can't wait till he drops a 30-point triple-double and shuts up all the haters. It's not happening, guys. Watch every play. This is an absolute embarrassment at this point. Ben Simmons is out there on the floor embarrassing himself. I don't know what happened. Now, maybe a knee injury plus rehabbing the knee plus not having a full offseason is what brought us here. Okay, because somebody posted on Twitter some highlights of him last season and how much more explosive he was, and he just doesn't have it this year. I'm thinking he lost a lot of speed. He's not in the best shape right now, physically, conditioning wise, and he doesn't have that explosiveness. Okay. And same thing people say about Russell Westbrook. A player like Ben Simmons is dangerous to put all your eggs into, because he doesn't have any technical offensive skill. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a post game. He doesn't even have a simple turnaround hook shot. He won't shoot the ball. He doesn't have when a player like that relies 100% on athletic ability, and then there's a knee injury, and it slows him down, you get what you have now. It's honestly, I'm sad for the guy. He's going out there and he's looking like absolute garbage. It's very sad to me. And if it's because of the injury and the lack of an offseason, fine, I will digress. But if it's because of what some of these Philly media members are putting out, WIP articles and such from inside sources, if it's because Ben Simmons honestly doesn't work on his game, he hangs out in LA all summer, he doesn't really care about basketball, he got into the NBA on natural ability, and he has no intention of adding any offensive skill sets, he has no intention of actually working on his game and developing anything, then I'm pissed off. Because this is sad. And I went through Ben Simmons' Summer League highlights 5 years ago, and he was shooting the ball. He was shooting the ball from the wing. He was one dribble pull-up jumper. Like, come on, bro. What in the world happened to this dude? It's in his head at this point. He's put himself in a box, and he seems like he can't get out of it. And I think he needs a change of scenery. I really do. I don't think it's going to happen here in Philly. Listen, he's only 24 years old. I get that. And if he develops an offensive game and becomes a great player by the time he's 28, whatever. But the Philadelphia 76ers don't have 4 more years to wait around. That's the thing here. If Ben Simmons gets a change of scenery and something happens, I'll be happy for him. I will. But in my personal opinion, this shit is over. This is over. And hopefully, Daryl Morey can sell him still on the fact that he's 24 years old, on the fact that he still has a lot of time to develop a game. But in my history of watching the NBA and basketball in general, if somebody didn't learn how to shoot when they were 13 years old, they're not learning how to shoot. There's very rare instances. People say Kawhi Leonard learned how to shoot after he came to the NBA. I don't know about that. But if you didn't learn how to shoot, and it's not natural in your mind, it's not a subconscious, just instinctual reaction when you catch the ball, and you have to think about it, that's hard to develop, especially when you've been doing the same thing for so many years. It's hard to break habit and change the way your brain works and change the way your instincts work. I don't know what else to say. The turnovers in this game were absolutely embarrassing. I can't. It's just the Ben drive, full speed drive, 360 jump pass, tries to kick it over to Dwight Howard for some reason. Like, what's Dwight Howard actually going to do with the ball in that situation? There was times years ago where Ben Simmons would drive, get all the way to the rim, and kick it out to TJ McConnell. Like, he doesn't even take into account the player that he's passing the ball to sometimes. He just hits the panic button and throws it to anybody he can. It's the weirdest style of basketball I've ever seen. He had another one where he drove and tried to do a 360 jump pass and kick it back to Tobias Harris. That was a turnover. He had 7 turnovers in his game. I mean, this stat line, in a game where you don't have Joel Embiid and you need your transcendent star to show up, to have 11 points. I mean, 16 rebounds is great. That's all effort. I'll give him that. But to have 11 points and 7 turnovers in a loss to the Memphis Grizzlies, come on, bro. It's a wrap. It's over. We gotta let this go. This is not getting any better. This regression is honestly sad. And I was so hyped when Ben Simmons was drafted. And if I remember to put this in the video, I have a video that shows up on my memories on Facebook once in a while where I'm holding my son in a 76ers onesie when he was like a year old. I was wearing a Ben Simmons Sixers jersey. No, he wasn't drafted yet. I forget what jersey I was wearing. I think I was wearing a Jahlil Okafor jersey, honestly. And was watching the NBA lottery, and we got the number 1 pick, and I jumped up and down and screamed. I was so happy we got the number 1 pick because I knew it was Ben Simmons, and this kid looks like he's going to dominate the NBA. 5 years later, this guy's scoring 11 points with 7 turnovers and losing to the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm starting to think the people that don't understand the disappointment are, no offense to you guys, but you're probably 14 years old. You probably started watching basketball 4 years ago, maybe. That's all I got, dude. So the game is close at the end because Shake Milton brought us all the way back, and I'm going to get into that in a second. And we need a bucket coming down the stretch. Okay, Ben Simmons gets the ball, tries to force a pass to Danny Green down in the corner. I can't figure out why. Throws it right to the defense. Horrible turnover. Then we get a last possession. We go to Tobias Harris on an ISO. I'm not going to rag on Tobias Harris, but I thought he was just going to one dribble pull up, like Doc says, he hesitates and stuff, and you got to just make a decision. Just take 2 dribbles and take the shot, Instead, he takes 3 or 4 dribbles all the way under the basket and literally walks out of bounds. Bro, come on. How do you do that in that situation? And then, what better way for a 2021 Philadelphia 76ers basketball game to end than 6 seconds on the clock, Ben Simmons has the ball. The whole world is like, he's not going to shoot it. And he does his little sprint down the court and makes an emergency pass to the rookie with 0.7 seconds on the clock. He never, ever has it in his mind that I'm going to shoot the ball. It's just pathetic at this point, man. How are we talking about an NBA player, a 24-year-old grown-ass man, that is terrified to shoot the ball? He did shoot a wide-open 3 in this game, and I liked it. It was an air ball by about 1,000 feet, like Broads said on Twitter, but I really hope he doesn't get absolutely roasted for that shot, because if he does, he's never going to shoot the ball again in the rest of his life. Okay, he airballed it by a mile, but I don't care. I like that he caught the ball and shot it, right? And there was another play where he was in the corner where he caught the ball and squared up like he was about to shoot it, and the defender came out to him. The defender came out to him, and he drove past him, and he doesn't have the explosiveness to get past anybody at this where we're at right now. I don't know why, but at least he squared up and made the defender step to him. And he'll do that in the corner. For some reason, he won't do that at the top of the key, but I like the fact that he just caught the ball and squared up. Like, at least look like you might shoot it, So that is some kind of small progression, I guess. Ben Simmons is plummeting his trade value. He just is. It's a fact right now. If Daryl Morey's actually trying to trade the guy, and he already tried to trade him for James Harden, if he's trying to trade the guy, he's plummeting his trade value. I mean, you gotta, I don't know, man, say that his knee hurts and sit him down until you trade him or something like that, because this is not getting it done. Oh yeah, we'll take the guy that scores 11 points and is scared to shoot the ball and had 7 turnovers against the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, we'll take him. What didn't I talk about yet, man? I said all that stuff. He did have a very nice fadeaway in crunch time that I almost did a cartwheel. I was in disbelief. He actually took somebody in the post with 3 minutes left in a close game and did a turnaround fadeaway and swished it. That's all we're saying. We know this dude can have an offensive game if he gets it in his head. And for some reason, it clicked right there, and he said, I'm shooting this ball, and he shot a beautiful turnaround fadeaway. That's all we want you to do. If he did that 3 or 4 times in a game, that would be improvement. And then shoot a couple threes. Now we're cooking with grease. But he won't. I'm not going to sit here and scream about it. The last thing I want to say about Ben Simmons is people keep giving me this, but he plays good defense. But if you trade Ben Simmons, who's going to lock down Kevin Durant? Who's going to lock down Jason Tatum if you trade Ben Simmons? Dude, the NBA is about scoring points at the end of the day, period. And you saw a perfect example here. Ben Simmons' lockdown defense and insane, incredible passing ability can't even get you past the Memphis Grizzlies. Why do you give a damn if this dude can guard Jason Tatum? Because it works the other way, right? Somebody that can score but can't play defense is kind of the same thing as somebody that can play great defense but can't score. Bradley Beal can drop 60 points in an NBA game. And yeah, on the other end, maybe he gives up 20 or 25. I'm not a mathematician here, but that's a plus 35 right there. You understand what I'm saying? Even if Bradley Beal averages 35 like he does right now and gives up 20 on the other end, that's a plus 15. Ben Simmons might hold his man to 15 points. He might hold Jason Tatum to 3 for 12, and the dude gets a couple free throws and scores 15 points in the game, and Ben Simmons on the other end scores 9 or scores 11. I'm sorry. Again, not a mathematician. That's a -4. I'm taking the guy that can drop 60 all day, every day. Give me the bucket getter. I don't know what this new age of we have a 6'10 lockdown defender and he's insanely valuable and we can't trade him. Where did that come from? Basketball's about scoring points, period. So Shake Milton leads us back in the fourth quarter. Absolutely beautiful. I'm loving him this season, man. He's insanely valuable. He at one point he had 11 straight points for us. Like, we were down 13, and Shake Milton brought us all the way back. Absolute bucket. And one bank shot, shooting threes behind us when they go behind the screen. Little floaters off the glass, left-handed drives, just beautiful stuff. Scored 11 straight points at one point. He had 14 points in the fourth quarter. He also gets 0 foul calls at this stage of his career for some reason. He gets absolutely tackled and gets no foul calls. He hit a three that should have been a 4-point play that James Harden or Steph Curry probably would have got a flagrant called for him. You know what I mean? Shake Milton's the real deal. He brought us back in the fourth quarter. And when it came down to it, and we needed a bucket, 1-point game, clock winding down, Shake Milton should have been the one with the ball in his hands. 2 possessions in a row, it was Ben Simmons and then it was Tobias Harris. And Tobias Harris got a couple buckets in that fourth quarter too. When we were down by 5, he scored 2 buckets back-to-back with his ISO game, getting in space in the lane, moving his defender with his shoulder, overpowering him a little bit, little mid-range jumpers. Beautiful stuff from Tobias Harris. I get that. But the point we're at right now, I'm sorry. Stop comparing people via contract. Stop saying this is the max paid guy. He needs to be the go-to guy. Tobias Harris is not a go-to guy, period. Ben Simmons is not a go-to guy, period. I don't care if they're on a max contract. Give the damn ball to Shake Milton in the fourth quarter. He led you all the way back, and you give the ball to Tobias. Shake should have had the last shot. He should have had that last possession, and he should have had the ball. He should have had the ball with 6 seconds left on the inbound. Instead, we inbounded to Ben Simmons so he can sprint down the floor and pass it to Tyrese Maxey with less than a second on the clock. Isn't that sad when you really think about it? That Shake Milton is your only go-to guy? Think about that for a second. You tanked for 5 seasons. Tanked for 3, really. Ben Simmons broke his foot. Joel Embiid was out for his first 2 years, rehabbing the foot injury that he rebroke and all that stuff, right? So, really bad, and then 3 intentional tanking years. 5 years of being a really bad team. 3 years on purpose. Your only go-to scorer in a close game is a second-round draft pick that came out of the G League because of injury. Now, Shake Milton's blowing away everybody's expectations, and he's blowing away all of all of the things like where he was drafted and how he came here out of the G League, he's blowing away the expectations. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's absolutely sad that you lost on purpose for 3 years and you don't have a Zach LaVine. You don't have a Bradley Beal. You don't have a Kawhi Leonard. You don't have a Paul George. You don't even have a Trae Young. You don't have a Luka Doncic. You have a big, fast passer guy who is now 6'10" Draymond Green. He's content with it, and his fans are content with it. And you have a second-round draft pick. Now, Joel Embiid, obviously, is our go-to guy when he's in the game. But if you want to win a championship, you need another go-to guy besides Joel Embiid. You need two superstars, period. Nobody wins championships without two superstars. Nobody. We have one superstar and a bunch of role players, and two of them are paid max contracts. That's kind of all I have to say about this game, man. Tobias Harris puts in 21 points. Not a bad game, but shouldn't have had the ball at the end. Tyrese Maxey gets you 12 points. A lot of little floaters that I love from him. Ben Simmons, absolutely pathetic performance. Dwight Howard, 8 points, 18 rebounds. I love Dwight Howard. Just unreal. He's a 7-foot Dennis Rodman. He's an absolute psychopath. He doesn't care if he's playing in a totally meaningless game or if he's playing in an NBA game or if he's playing a pickup game at the Y. He's going 100% every single possession and finishes the game with 18 rebounds. Gets a technical again because he gets heated and gets into screaming matches and yells at the refs and all this stuff. But Danny Green, 8 points. Nah, who cares? Shake Milton, again, absolute stud off the bench, 28 points. The only reason we were in this game, again, that's absolutely sad that the only reason you're in a game after tanking for 5 years is a second-round draft pick that came out of the G League. But shout out to Shake Milton. Matisse Thybulle hit a couple threes. I like that. He's a 3-and-D guy. That's what we need from him. He looks like he's getting his groove back a little bit offensively. Had a nice drive to the rim that I thought he was going to hammer down that he laid in, but Matisse Thybulle looks like he's getting that comfortability and that game where, all you have to be able to do, Matisse, is play good defense and catch and shoot on the other side, right? And that's our point with Ben Simmons. You get a Matisse Thybulle at what, the 21st pick in the draft, maybe the 12th pick in the draft, whatever. You get a lockdown defender. You don't tank for 3 years and draft a guy number 1 overall because you think he might be a lockdown defender, because he might get a lot of assists and a lot of rebounds. Now we got people on Twitter comparing Ben Simmons to Rajon Rondo and Draymond Green and saying how much more rebounds and assists he has than those guys. I don't give a damn about that. You didn't draft the guy because you thought he was going to get a lot of assists and rebounds. You drafted the guy because he looked like he was going to be an absolute dominant force in the NBA, and 5 years in, he is just not. Isaiah Joe hit a couple threes. Absolutely love the kid. Beautiful, beautiful shot form. Beautiful stroke. Just a pure shot. Absolutely love his shot. Again, give all of Furkan Korkmaz's minutes to Isaiah Joe. And yeah, that's it, man. We had 22 turnovers. That's pathetic and embarrassing. The Grizzlies had 15 steals. I mean, you're not winning a game when you give up 15 steals. Period. You're not. That's it, man. We shot 28% from 3, and that's what I say, man. Ben, he assists on a lot of three-pointers, and people add that, and I say, what happens when those shots aren't falling? What does he give you when those shots aren't falling? Nothing. When you have a game where you shoot 28% from 3, what does he give you? Nothing. I don't know how there's anybody left on the bandwagon. I don't know how there's anybody left that doesn't want to trade this guy. I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost. That's all, man. My name is DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back Philly. Thanks for listening. Yep. Hit the like button. Peace.